like every now and then.
You okay there, Andrew?
like the world's smallest tea kettle just going off intermittently in the background.
Oh man! All right, so we are live. Let me just make sure.
I want you to catch the wavelength of what it sounds like when I clear my throat out.
So I can use a sample to remove it from everything else. Of course. Let me share this. And then let me share it everywhere.
Why is my lighting so poor? Like the light is right above me, but it looks like I'm being held in like Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, you're right. You have like heavy shadows.
Yeah. It helps because I'm the more morose one of the two.
I love the title, by the way. You ooze, you lose.
Thank you. I came up with that literally on the fly.
Share it to another group. Let me share it to Dungeons and Dragons of Central Florida. And then let me share it to...
You're sharing it to the D&D OCF?
I can't share it to the... No, I can't share it to the big D&D one because they only have a promotion one per week. Yeah. Once per week. D&D Quinta Edición. That's the Spanish one.
I don't really care for the main D&D one.
I know, but there's like a lot of people there.
Because it's always like, oh, look at my OC character. Like, dude, no one gives a fuck.
I mean, apparently some people do. Sage of the Forgotten Realms. Members of that. All right. That should be enough for now. All right. Ready? Mm-hmm. Here you go.
I'm waiting.
I got nervous. And welcome to another episode of A Talk of Opportunity. Today with me as usual.
It's me.
Andrew.
You know who I am. The Andrew. Eternal guest. Yes, I never leave.
The only guest.
I've been on your couch for how many years?
Listen, Kristen wanted me to talk to you about that. You're gonna have to leave soon. It's getting sticky and stinky in my living room.
There's an outline when you get up, dude. I didn't want to be the one to say it. I spray clean it when you go take your weekly shower.
Hey, Nick Godoy. I just butchered your name, but welcome to the stream.
Nick Goodboy.
Godoy? Godoy? Nick. His name is Nick, okay? And he's watching us.
Yeah. Hey, Nick. What's up?
Yes. And today we're talking about the stickiest and most uncomfortable guests in any dungeon.
They're not really sticky. They're not sticky. Yeah, they're just you're thinking of mimics.
Yeah, they're just slimy and oily. Kind of like
they burn. They're made of acid.
Kind of like me when I don't shower for 3 days. Today we're talking about oozes.
They're sticky and they burn on touch. Like ew.
And with that, let's play the music.
But it needs to be like an Oozy version, so it's like.
No, I'm just gonna put a on the water filter.
Yeah.
I still don't have the animated logo intro. One day I will have that.
Just have the sound of someone dying in an ooze, which sounds a lot like.
Yep. But before we get started, let's talk about another liquid that we really enjoy. That sounds weird.
My favorite ooze. If you leave it out long enough. Actually, I think it just turns into bread if you leave it out long enough.
Dusted bread. What are you drinking? What are you drinking today, Andrew?
I am drinking a Samuel Adams Golden Ale because it's crisp and refreshing, and I kind of just wanted like no frills beer.
Well, I went the other way, the opposite, because I didn't have any beer, and like an hour before the stream was about to go on, I texted Andrew. Was like, "All right, I'm finally out of work. I'm just gonna bolt it to Total Wine, and hopefully I'll get there and back before because it's like 20 minutes away."
Yeah.
So I get there. There's like a shit ton of people Friday, obviously. I grab my little like 6-pack thing. And I'm like, okay, now the hardest part.
Beers.
To get 6 beers, or to pick 6 beers, 6 different type of beers to build my 6-pack within like a reasonable amount of time, and I was freaking out. And then I saw that there's a fridge, so I went to the fridge to see if they had anything interesting, and they did. They had this.
Did they have anything interesting? No, it's just crap.
Well, usually they do. It's just like the regular stuff.
Yeah, like
they had
Michelob and stuff.
Yeah, Bear Lasers IPA with citrus, Simcoe, Mosaic hops.
And it's like it's brewed through like a honeycomb or something like that.
Yeah, and then they have a little bit of
Oh man. Whew, I hope that beer is not as old as that meme.
And then surprisingly I went through like the aisle that has all the singles, and they had a bunch of really cool ones this time around. The last time I went, it wasn't as full, so I didn't even think about it. I just saw a couple. And, oh, this sounds really delicious, and I have like 5 more episodes.
You mean to tell me you didn't get the Mortal Kombat beer?
Ooh. They don't have the Mortal Kombat beer.
What? That's good. That's good, because those Mortal Kombat beers were at best disappointing.
That's a weird IPA.
It's a double IPA, isn't it?
No, it's just an IPA.
Oh, okay.
But it's not. It's no IPA. It's a citrus or Citra, Simcoe. I don't know what that is, and Mosaic hops.
Simcoe, isn't that like a? It's not like a cell provider.
Probably. And yeah, it's a 6.7 alcohol by volume.
Hidden
Springs Ale Works.
Gonna have to look up Simcoe now.
Yeah. Tampa, Florida. North Franklin. I said that we're oh wait, I can't say where people live.
Oh, it's a type of hops. That's what it is.
Mm-mm.
Simcoe is like
this is delicious
strain, I guess, of hops.
I am so happy that I actually like IPAs now.
Because, fun fact, hops are very close to cannabis, so you can say that there's different strains.
Oh, really?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Have you never noticed the similarities? Like, when you smelled them, it's like...
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
By the way, Nick says that what you were drinking is better than Bush.
I mean, there's a lot that's better than Bush.
This is fucking delicious.
Did I tell you about the time that me and my boss that was in the kitchen inadvertently like agreed on something about Bush beer, like coming from the opposite direction though?
What do you mean?
Okay, so we were it was like an Oktoberfest thing. We were doing like a beer battered something. Mm-hmm. And so he went to a grocery store, because there was literally a grocery store like across the street, and he grabbed a like cheapy case of like Bush for like, it was probably like 18 cans for like $3.99 or something. and he started to like open the cans up, and someone said, "Oh, you guys gonna drink that?" And me, being a beer snob at the time, was like, thinking, no, I only drink like $10 a can stuff.
Right.
And him being the kind of guy who doesn't drink beer at all, he thinks that beer is like for women. So he's like, I'm a whiskey kind of guy. We both go, ew. We both say like at the same time, like, ew, this shit? No.
Dude, there's so many better like cheap beers than Bush. I never liked like I tried a couple times, never got a taste for it.
It tastes like soap.
It does taste like soap, doesn't it?
Yeah, it tastes like soap water.
It's almost as bad as Natural Ice.
My my guilty pleasure beer is a Pabst.
Really?
For some reason, there's something about a Pabst Blue Ribbon. It tastes like water. So it goes down just as easy.
I love Modelo. That's like my beer.
I don't think I've ever had a Modelo.
They're really good.
Okay.
Yeah. Nothing fancy. They're just beer. Like Mexican
beer. The reason why I like Pabst is because it doesn't taste like complete garbage, and it's like $2 for a 4-pack. So.
And it's a classic American beer. It's American, right?
Yeah. I should hope so.
Anyways, once again, this is not an episode about beer yet.
Today
we're talking about...
That's going to be episode 100. What we talking about? Just beer.
Man, beer. We have a long way to go. Can we make it episode 50?
No.
Damn it.
That has to be the goal. And the title of the episode is going to be, don't play this one, Heather. Just skip it.
Oh, shit. Anyways, so imagine this, Andrew.
Okay.
You're in a cave, right? You're exploring the Underdark, and there is...
Is it dark? It's okay. I have dark vision. Don't worry about it.
Yes. It's dark.
I have dark vision, so
Damn it, Andrew. Let me tell the time.
Okay.
So you're walking down, walking down an opening, right? Okay. You're looking for Blingden Stone, right? To get yourself out of the Underdark. And
no, I don't. I don't. I'll go the other way. I don't want to go to Blingden Stone. What's it called? It's dumb. I don't want to go there.
Fine.
Welcome to D&D.
You don't go there. You go left. And all the way there's all sorts of fungi, and moss, and sometimes some animals is curling around and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, you make a perception check, and it's high enough for the DM to be nice to you, right? And the thing that you notice is that at one stopping point of this opening, the cave becomes super duper clean. It's almost like somebody polished the stone. There's not a single bit of fungi or moss or animal or anything. It's just pure stone.
Someone got rid of the fun guys?
Yes.
But they were fun. Someone ruined their fun.
Andrew, this is why I don't like you.
That's all right.
What do you do, Andrew?
I investigate why it's so clean. This is odd.
As you approach the wall, a pseudopod launches out and grabs you in the face.
Just
you take a lot of acid damage. I don't know. How much life do you have?
How much what do I have?
Life do you have?
Well, seeing how I'm a level 2 wizard with a 0 in Constitution, that probably killed me.
Yes. Today we're talking about oozes. Why? Because we just had a huge battle playing Out of the Abyss in my other game. And it was all oozes. And we met a nice gelatinous cube that was sentient, and its name was Clabacool.
Sentient.
Yeah. It was super nice. It helped us.
No.
That's not how D&D works.
That's not how my gelatinous cubes work. My gelatinous cubes will be unstoppable death machines. They need to feed.
Anyways, oozes, why are they scary? Why do they damage people? Why? Why do they exist?
I think oozes are scary. Okay, so you started out with a gelatinous cube. One, I think they're scary because you can't really see a gelatinous cube.
Especially when it's like super dark, which is usually where you find them.
It's like clear Jello. It's see-through. There's no bubbles. So it's whisked really well.
Unless it's well fed, then you can see some floating bubbles.
Well, hold on. I was gonna get to that. So it's see-through, and so if it has eaten and it's fully digested, all you see is a floating skeleton. And at first you're like, oh shit. The skeleton has like feather fall or some crap skeleton. Like that. Or, it's approaching me, but there's a bag of gold at its feet. I wonder why. And then you touch it, and your wrist deep in 46 acid damage. And you're like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. So I mean, and so it's imperceptible. You really, unless you have like a really, really good perception score, you can't really see a gelatinous cube. There are other oozes, but a gelatinous cube is like the flagship. It's the Mario of oozes. Like everyone knows what a gelatinous cube is. So if let's say you're in a dungeon and there's a corridor and there's a gelatinous cube coming your way, now you know it's a gelatinous cube. And it's filling up the entire hallway because it can.
Right.
How big is a gelatinous cube? Yes.
It's a trap triggered by Indiana Jones type situation.
Yeah. And now you just have this acid wall heading your way. Not the fun acid either.
The one that burns.
Yeah. So your first instinct would be to run and close the door and hold the door shut, so that the gelatinous cube doesn't come in. But wait a minute, something's nipping at your heels, and you looked out, and the gelatinous cube is like under the door.
It's like a blob, essentially.
Yeah, it's exactly like the blob, and it's just if you play a gelatinous cube right, and you have your players cornered in such a way you will put the fear of God in those guys with a gelatinous cube because there's no escape. There's only one way out.
Well, not only that, the mean part also is that I'm sorry, I'm skipping. I'm jumping to another to another type of oozes, but like some oozes damage your fucking weapons and armor.
Mm-hmm.
That is just mean for a low level. For a low level party, that's mean. Gelatinous cubes don't only. I know this because whatever that's no organic that they don't eat, it stays with them. So like metal stuff, treasure doesn't disappear. It just floats within them. So,
yeah,
I think it's the gray oozes, isn't it? The main ones that do that.
I think the gelatinous cubes can too, where they attack and they start doing durability damage on like your specifically your weapons and your armor. And it's something like if you take so much, like it's gone. You don't have that armor anymore.
I remember when we first started Out of the Abyss, we encountered a Grey Goose. Yeah, a bottle of Grey Goose.
The vodka. Martini.
Delicious.
This episode sponsored by Grey Goose.
By alcoholics, apparently.
It's okay.
It's not that bad. What are you talking about? Anyways.
It ain't no Russian standard.
And I think it was the barbarian hit it with its axe because we were escaping. We didn't have any weapons or anything with us.
Right.
Like the first 4 sessions, we all had like a -1 penalty to all of our attacks.
Mm-hmm.
It was just me.
I remember there was a ooze in Curse of Strahd that got only small Drax. And it's like, yeah, you're gonna take a -1 to your AC. He's like, is it temporary? No. And he was like, fuck. Like he was like actually angry.
Because that's annoying. Like, first of all, how do you get rid of that for people that want to know?
What?
Get your AC back up.
You can't.
You have to repair. Buy more armor or repair it, right?
Yeah.
That's
so
the
you have
only
to go.
way.
So you have to trek all the way back to town, talk to the blacksmith, and he'll be like, "I'll repair ye armor." And he's like, "It's like, but it'll be like a fortnight or something like that." And you're like, "I don't even like Fortnite."
Well, now you gotta wait through it. Damn it.
Loot boxes. No. This episode's already off the rails.
Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't be drinking too much.
This week has been really stressful, so I'm just detoxing.
Oh, by the way, happy Year of the Ox, right?
Is it the Year of the Ox?
Today, yeah.
I was born under the Year of the Ox.
Nice.
So,
I was born under the Year of the Lamb or whatever. I don't know. It was a lame one.
Oh.
My cousin's like, I'm a dragon, and my other cousin's like, I'm a snake, and I'm like, I'm a sheep.
Yeah, but I was like, oh man, you're the dragon. And it's like the dragon, and it's like what makes up a dragon? It's like you're an asshole. I'm like,
yeah. I don't know if I want that in my life. Anyways, yes.
No, I'm good.
Gelatinous cubes, very scary.
Sorry, we got into Chinese astrology there for a second.
As one does when you're doing a D&D.
Yeah, I mean, podcast. you don't talk about other cultures' astrological beliefs when you're playing D&D. But yes, so the only way to really quote unquote fix the damage is just buy new armor or have someone repair it for you. And it's especially when you're deep in the heart of a dungeon, you're like, I don't want to deal with this.
Which is when you usually encounter oozes and gelatinous cubes.
Yeah, and it's bad enough when it's -1, but if you actually get to the point where it's like just below, I think the threshold's like -5, so if you get like just below that threshold, you're like, okay. you're pretty much just wearing like a paper suit at that point.
Might as well take it off.
Yeah, it honestly, depending on your class, you might, because it's like, oh, it's heavy armor, it doesn't affect my dex.
So how do you avoid this? How do you avoid taking damage?
Be good. Get good. Get good at rolling dice.
Okay, the answer was getting magical weapons, but yes.
Well, I mean, you could do that too. But I mean, getting good, that's essentially what that whole
you still
blanket statement.
You still have to hit it.
Yeah, but
it still does damage.
What you do? Okay, here's what you do. If you encounter a ooze, you leave the dungeon, go out, grind some boars in the forest. Come back when you level up.
Do some fetch quest.
Yeah. And then come back and whoop its ass. That's how every RPG works when you're severely over level. And it's like I've robbed myself of the challenge.
That's what happened to me with Breath of the Wild.
This is a hollow victory.
I felt like that because I maxed out my armor. I maxed out my whatever the sword, Zelda sword is, the Master Sword is maxed out. I had like the creatures, the ancient beasts or whatever beast, and I'm like, okay, well, I've done pretty much everything except for this. Let me go see the ending. And then I go all the way up to the castle. Not really much of an issue because I had like 27 million ancient arrows. So I was killing all the guardians with no problem. And then I get up there, and then the whole thing starts like, yes, oh my god, it's so epic, and 5 minutes later, it was done.
Yeah, that's actually one of the biggest complaints was that like people were like, Calamity Ganon's like too easy.
Now you understand why people go there straight from the beginning.
Yeah, that's how you actually play. Like 3 hearts in a branch. Like, let's do this thing.
I had all my hearts. Like I didn't even. Oh, and I went up there without any food because I forget about making food, right? So I had no healing things, and I had half of my hearts out of all because I have full hearts. I only have half of my hearts. Didn't even have to heal.
Yeah, no, you no.
I beat it, and I'm like, oh well, that was fun.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, yay, I won.
He looked like an ooze.
Yeah, he kind of did. He was all like spackly and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways. Okay, yeah. So really, to fight off an ooze, you have to be either really, really lucky with the dice rolls, or you got to come prepared. But that's kind of the point of an ooze. That's supposed to catch you with your guard down.
Yeah.
So it's like, personally, as a DM, I would throw an ooze at a party when they least expect it, just to keep them on their toes.
Yep. and like you always have to introduce it like it's coming through the cracks of the walls or some bullshit like that. Like they can't see it; it's all around them already, and like
the black pudding especially would be really, really great in like a crypt setting. Where it's like you open up the tomb of the ancient Templar and it's like this black pudding just like out of, and it like splashes on somebody and you're like, oh!
You take all the acid damage.
Yeah, and they just start steaming from the acid.
Jesus Christ!
That's definitely a monster where a character has to say, "It's eating me! It's eating!" It's just slowly working up its leg.
That's the other thing. That it's not just that it hurts; it's also the fact that it's a slow death for most of these guys.
If you get, I think there's only one real ooze that engulfs you. But if you do get engulfed the entire time, you're essentially in stomach acid, just slowly dying. And I think it like restrains you or grapples you, and like there's like somebody else has to come get you out. And so the entire time,
not a lot of people are gonna like. You have the rest of the party with a big long stick. Grab the stick. Grab the stick.
with like the little like grabbers on the end.
Because I don't want to touch it. It's like fuck that.
Yeah, no. And someone's like, it's eating her, and then it's gonna eat me. Oh my god. That's only the second episode we've done this in a row.
Also, a good solution that Nick has is that fireball kills everything.
You would, yeah, probably. I was gonna say you would think so, but
aren't most oozes like vulnerable to fire?
No, they're not. They're not vulnerable to fire, but they do have. Some of them have immunities, and it's. I'm not gonna say what those immunities are because that's for the players to find out. But some of these oozes, if you hit them with said immunities, makes another ooze.
Yep.
And now you got 2 oozes. So someone's like, I'm going to cast Redacted, and now you got twice the problem.
I think that happened to you when I first DM'd Lost Mines of Endelver.
Mm-hmm.
The ooze just kept multiplying.
And someone's like, quit hitting it with that spell. It's like, no, it's going to work eventually.
Oh shit. What's the main differences between all the oozes?
Okay, so the main difference between all the oozes is that some can split if they take a certain type of damage. Again, I'm not going to say it because some can split when they take a certain type of damage. Some have like natural camouflage, I think. I want to say only one has like a natural camouflage. A lot of them can spider climb, so they can actually be like above you and then
And
just like
drop you.
like a blanket. Just
Oh man, those are so great. And the thing is that these guys have like you can't. It's really hard to pick them out of like the atmosphere. So like you can ask for like, hey, can you give me a perception check to see if wherever, in the middle of this hallway down this creepy dungeon, and then you're like, oh, okay, that's interesting, and just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
Right.
Wait, what's a perception for?
Yeah.
To
see if the dice are running correctly today.
But I rolled a 23. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's good for you.
Anyways. All right, so about this hallway, boys. But I mean, like some have like just natural camouflage and and some can just like slowly suck in the players as it's attacking them.
Boom. Oh my god, I can't get out! 3 turns in, you're like halfway. And guys, I can't get only one arm is able to do anything. Guys, help!
And the other one's like slowly just like turning into mush. Like, oh,
you better have a good healer.
Oh man, you are gonna need. I would definitely be like, it got your leg first, bro. Your speed is reduced by all of it because you have no legs.
Don't downplay oozes.
Oh no. They're supposed to be terrifying. They're supposed to be slow. I mean, imagine. Okay, so one of the common scenarios it says in the books is that certain monsters like to use oozes as garbage disposals, just like in the bottom of a pit, like throw them in the ooze pit. and so you just imagine the horror of the group when they pool swing the wizard into it, and they're all like, and the rest of the players are shackled up against the wall, and they just hear the as the wizard's slowly dying, and they can't do anything. Like, drive it home. If you don't end a session where your players don't have a phobia of wall cracks or something, you're doing it wrong, man.
Especially if you're using oozes. Come on.
Like it needs to be. They see an empty hallway and it's just like lists of possibilities start popping up.
Dude, that's what Heather is like right now. Like after which one was the Tomb of Horrors? She was never the same again. I did a good job. Just been paranoid of hallways ever since then.
What you need to do is have a steel chest inside of an ooze. That's you can't see.
Right.
You kill the ooze. That steel chest is a mimic.
They kill the mimic. The floor is also a mimic.
And inside that mimic is an ooze. And it just like launches the ooze out.
Oh my god. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, I call this dungeon. I hate my fucking players. A slice of humble pie, part 1.
I mean, our table kind of needs it. Just saying. They're getting away with too much shit.
Mimic trees. That's going to be a different episode where we start talking about mimics.
Oh, man, mimics are great. Anyways. So, we talked about gelatinous cube.
We talked about some of the other ones, but I didn't want to go too terribly into detail because I didn't want to reveal a surprise.
There's a surprise?
Oh, yeah, oozes are nothing but surprise.
Oh, you mean like overall? Yeah, no.
Yeah,
but I kind of want to talk about like my favorite ooze, which is, I think you know which one it is.
The black pudding?
No.
The ochre?
No. Wow, you're
the demon king of oozes.
You're the worst for that, right?
The gelatinous cube?
No, the Oblex.
Oh,
damn it! Andy.
Was it? Oh, okay. I didn't know. I didn't realize we were already moving away from the monster manual. I thought we were going to talk about more about. No, I mean,
I thought we were just talking about everything.
Yeah. No. I was expecting, something. Never mind. Let's go.
Oblex. So the whole adventure revolves around this king who, for some reason, is losing his mind. He is just really weird, and he's losing his memories. People around him think that he just has dementia slash Alzheimer's, and nobody knows what's happening, right? Yet he sends the party on crazy adventures, wild goose chases, and all that. Meanwhile, one of the players notices that there is a subtle smell of sulfur around the king, and that's all they know.
And then one day the king is totally fine.
Yes.
Just and he's like, "Oh, sorry about that, guys. I just don't know what. Don't worry about the smell. You know, the water, it's unpurified and it's unfiltered.
We have to boil it every night. That's the smell.
Yeah,
that's what you're smelling.
It's Florida. It's hard water. I mean, fun fact: did you know that oblexes were made as a Make-A-Wish program?
Really?
Yeah, one of the guest designers, Nathan Whale, made the oblex purely as a Make-A-Wish thing.
Really?
So yeah,
I had no idea.
Somebody wanted that, and you're like, okay, actually, yeah, that's a really good idea.
You know, even if you weren't dying, we would have done it.
Yeah, I mean, shit, you did. You're like, why'd you wait till now? Like,
wow, that got dark real quick. Wow, but that I really didn't know that though. Mm-hmm. By the way, Nick really liked the Ooze mimic idea.
That's free. That one's free, Nick. The rest you got to buy from my DMs guild. I don't have a DMs guild.
Yeah, no, we're poor as fuck.
Yeah, I don't know graphic. The only thing that stopped me is I don't know graphic design. With our powers combined,
we can do this, Andrew. We talked about
this. With our powers combined, we can achieve mediocrity.
Yeah. Eventually, somebody will notice.
The adventure started out good, but it kind of bantered out after a while.
Let's talk about our Viking adventure.
I'm an ideas man. Okay,
we need a whole team to flesh it out.
Yeah, I know. I'm the ideas guy. We need like an actual proper fucking writer.
Let's get some interns.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Obelix, damn it. What caught my eye at first was the fucking artwork, dude. Mm-hmm. The artwork for that Ooze, I was like, what the hell is happening right now? I didn't know what was happening. I thought it was a completely different thing. And then it's just an Ooze that steals your memory and eventually does it long enough that it makes a replica of you.
What's even scarier is that the one that makes a replica of just you is the younger one. Right. There's an older one that can make a replica of like 10 people.
Yep. So isn't it every time they make the replica, they have to like split essentially?
I think what it is that when they make the replica, it's like there's like a mother Ooze, and then the replica like
splits up.
It gets birthed out of it,
right.
But it has like a little strand of Ooze following it.
That like so cool. I just imagine
it's fucking disgusting.
Like that king that I describe is like, it looks fine and normal, but as soon as like he won't let anybody go around the throne. Like that's like his mandate.
And like, he knows there's a little Death Stranding cord following around.
The baby starts crying and Norman Reedus walks around, it's like, there's something wrong with that guy. Keep on keeping on. No, but imagine that, like, that is such a cool way to like reveal that something is going on here. Like, if somebody has a perception high enough to actually see the strand of the pseudopod from the Ooze is like, essentially it's like it's a marionette, and then the Ooze, the pseudopods are just kind of like behind it. Like, the way the book describes it is that because they can go as small as an inch through like a 1-inch hole. Right. So like I have like pseudopods like through the wall.
But it can be really far away. Oh, so really? It doesn't have to be like if I remember correctly, it can be pretty far away. Like it's not like something that's like, oh, it could be like a mile away from whatever but it's like it doesn't have to be like right there next to it. So it could be like the next room over.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was imagining. And I don't know, I think it's such a like cool thing to have like that as a precedent for an adventure, and like because we're so used, in my opinion, we're so used to like, oh, it's just a shape-shifting doppelganger or a dragon that's doing this thing, right, or whatever. But an Ooze, nobody will ever think that it's a freaking Ooze that sucked the memories, like everything, like essence from one person. It made one of its own to control. You know, it remembers everything. It knows everything. How can you tell the difference?
Yeah,
that's like optimal role playing to find out like what the hell is going on.
And the cool thing is that once you find out what this thing is and you initiate combat with it, it attacks you by robbing your memories. So
How
like, oh, it lands an attack, and you're like, wait, what was that guy? Shit, what was that guy's name?
Who are you guys?
Where am I?
What am I doing here?
I'm so confused.
You guys kidnapped me.
More like confused. Am I
Wow.
right?
I already drank my beer.
I'll be here all week.
I'm not, oh God.
Be sure to tip your waitress.
Please.
Nick probably liked that.
Please
come
stop
on, Nick.
You're embarrassing me in front
left.
of the. You're embarrassing me in front of the wizard. Oh, look at that. We have one viewer now. Me.
Is it really? Oh, Nick's like, fuck this.
I've had it. That was it. But yeah, and they were created by Mind Flayers, right?
Actually, nope. Okay, hold on. I'm glad you brought that up because the Ooblexes were created as an experiment by Mind Flayers to see like what the gelatinous cubes can do.
Mm-hmm.
But where gelatinous cubes came from, like the best answer you're gonna get is like I don't know. like nobody really knows where, or not gelatinous cubes, but just oozes in general. It's just like they just kind of been here.
But wait, no, isn't there like a god deity thing that's
there's a demon lord of
demon
oozes.
Lord, right?
And the best that like wizards, not of the coast, but just wizards in the setting can come up with, it's like maybe it's like shards of influence from this demon lord. We actually don't know.
I love that.
We're honestly just throwing things on the wall and seeing what sticks.
And he's the only one. He's the only one can actually control oozes, right?
He's the only. It's described as he's the only ooze that. Well, I mean, despite all the other oozes that we've encountered that are all intelligent and can make pretzels, he's supposed to. It's a ooze. I think it's genderless. It's literally gender fluid. They are described as being the only ooze that has like intelligence and sentience.
Right.
And when other oozes are around it, all the other oozes gain like a modicum of intelligence or something like that. Yeah, because all the other oozes have like I think except for the Oblex, all the other oozes have like an intelligence score of like a single digit. It's something like 4, or it's like just enough to realize, hey, I'm hungry and I need to eat, and there's food right there. So,
Robert says that Glabagool sends his regards. He role plays the sentient ooze really well. Like he gives it like a really awesome voice.
Is it like jelly voice?
No. It's an English accent. He's very like oh man, I wish he was here. He's like,
it has like a little monocle, and the monocle's like
he's like very like proper and like nice, and like the voice is so, okay. I just want to first of all I want to give props to Robert. He's my other DM, and because he does voices to the extent of like we have played, let's say like 3 sessions after he introduced one character, and then he like does that voice and everybody instantly knows what character it is.
I wish I could do that.
I wish I could do that too. Like when we get back to an NPC, I'm like, oh, what the fuck voice did I give this guy?
Like the only thing I remember when it comes to NPC is like, all right, what's their attitude? I try to give my NPCs a voice, but then like if I like ever listen back or watch like back the footage, I'm like, like this sounds really cringe. I'm done.
And the thing is that what's it called? We met him in like this. I think I'm pretty sure it was a random encounter. We met him in this place and he like talked to us and I was really nice to him because I was really impressed that a gelatinous cube could actually like talk for starters. And he actually led us through the dungeon safely because he was like taking care of the other oozes, like pushing them aside and stuff like that. So we made friends with him, right? And then like, I don't know, 7 sessions later, we're like down in Blingdenstone, right? And we're walking by and there's a bunch of like oozes, like there's a ooze infestation happening right there, the problem. And we're like investigating, blah, 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 blah. And then he describes it in such a way that like Glabagool just shows up. I was like, hey guys, how are y'all doing? And everybody was just like, Glabagool! Yeah, he like helped
Happy
us.
jiggling.
Yeah, we were so excited. He actually like helped us through that bit of the adventure. It was pretty awesome. Anyways, but yeah, that was my
Well, it's nice to know that you're enjoying time with your other better DM.
That's right, Andrew. You suck.
I know.
Get your voices done. Hey, we have yours now. Nice. Hey, welcome.
I mean, I've tried, and like I said, every time I do a voice, I'm like, I'm not a voice actor.
I can't say anything because you know my voice.
Yeah, your voice is either like ooh or your voice
or my voice.
Yeah.
Every now and then I remember that I give like a certain tone to a character, but like for the most part I forget.
The only real like, oh wow, he's actually being intense here was what's it? I want to say it was, oh gosh. Was it at the beginning of this campaign or at the beginning of Dragon Heist, for like the bartender was like, get out, and I'm just like, he actually yelled, Jesus Christ, I'm sorry.
I don't know which one, probably both.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because everything starts in a fucking tavern. So it's all just blending together. Oh my god, I've been attacked by an obelisk. I'm just losing my memory.
Anyway, what do you mean you don't remember?
What
do you keep repeating the same thing over and over again?
I leave for recording, and Tracy's like, come to bed, and there's like, wait, where did that little strand come from? Oh my god. You said it was a gel top mattress.
That's why it's so cool at night. Wow.
Slowly engulfing me.
Robert says, Andrew, I've heard good things about your DMing. Nothing but love between DMs. Aww. He's such a supportive friend, unlike you.
Well, you know, I'm the kind of guy that's like, every time I'm done DMing, I'm like, God, I'm a fucking moron. I really am my own worst critic.
Yes,
anyways.
You are.
That's okay.
So Obelix. God, whoever's listening, thank you so much for listening, because we're such a fucking mess with Mom.
Oh gosh. Man, this week has been a fucking mess. Like, everything D&D related is just like not worked out.
Hey,
we'll get to that in the later.
Screw you, man.
That was the session highlight.
No, we haven't gotten there yet. Oh man.
The session highlights.
Hold on. Obelixes, they're really cool. They can steal your memories. They can make a duplicate out of you after they're done with you, essentially. They were made by mind flayers experimenting with oozes. And then what's the name of the demon lord?
The demon, I want to say it's either Giublix or Weeblix. It's Juiblix. Giublix. It's
so somebody just like grab a bunch of letters and like spilled it on the.
Yeah, no. Someone held up a bowl of Jello to a speak and spell, just like. That's the name they got for the demon lord.
Beautiful.
But the one thing I like about Juiblix? Why all these Maglubliet?
Dude, that's how we feel playing Out of the Abyss. Like, there's so many weird ass names.
Meanwhile, we're in Avernus, and this guy's name is Bell.
Bell.
Bell. Bell. Bell. Bell. Bell.
Bell, the Lord Deep, the Devil Lord. Bell. 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 Anyway,
okay, we can do this. We can get through this episode. We have to power through this episode. All right. So the one cool thing I like about Juiblix.
Let's just go to Jubilee.
It's one thing I like about Juby is that it's described in the book as like nobody really worships Jubilee unless your mind is completely broken. And because it's like think about it, like it's the demon lord of oozes. Like oozes are incapable of worship. So who in their actual right fucking mind is going to worship a devil jello?
I know. Does it taste delicious? Because I worship it.
Probably doesn't, because you can't even get near it without getting acid damage. No, it's something that's like if you attack it, there's a chance it just like splurts acid on you. It's just like, oh, I strike the demon lord with my spear, and like
It's like it bursts a balloon, just
yeah, and it's just a lot of acid.
I didn't think this through.
Oh, you mean to tell me that striking a demon lord of acid jello was a bad idea?
Who would have thought? Not me.
Oh, and then because it's in Mordekainen's, it's being around it can make you go crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Like every other like demon lord or whatever. But it's like like this is like a different kind of crazy. It's like I have to eat everything that's around me, or something like that.
There's like a bunch of different effects that can happen to the player, and one of them is like they have to devour everything around them.
Yeah, they just get really, really hungry for some reason. And
well, I mean, that's what oozes do. They just devour. Oozes they're not smart. They just have this animalistic instinct to just eat.
Yeah,
that's all they do.
Like I said before, they have just enough of that intelligence to realize food's over there. I have to eat it.
Right. By the way, Nick says that he's drinking, so he's LOLing. What are you drinking, Nick? Let us know. Because I just finished my bear laser.
I'm working on mine.
This is a good one. I like it. I'll buy it again. Anyways.
But yeah, no. So the
Jubileus.
Again, okay, so this thing now naturally when you're fighting any demon lord, it's not gonna be like a random encounter. It's like, oh god, oh no, the demon lord of oozes is here.
Why not?
But it's
you told me that you wanted more random encounters in Avernus.
No, when I said I wanted more random encounters in Avernus, you knew my plan of what I meant for random encounters in Avernus.
Oh, I have an idea. A table with all the demon lords and devil.
Why the fuck not?
You wanted a challenge, fucker? You call my game boring? Fuck
you. You know this is boring.
2 4-hour sessions of just one fight. Anyways,
continued in part 2 on the last episode of Descent into Avernus.
It's just all the party members screaming.
Oh god!
And now you D-level.
Oh, but it's like even D-level. Oh no, we're back in AD&D. That's what I'm gonna do. One day, I'm gonna introduce monsters from a different edition just to fuck people up. Like, did you hit the THACO? The what? Okay, I guess you didn't hit.
Wait, hold on. Let me get my formula.
Yeah, I rolled a 20. That's a natural miss, man. What?
By the way, Nick is drinking a Blue Moon, and he says to drop Tiamat in the random encounter table.
Yeah, why not? Fuck it. I mean, fuck it. Why not? But okay, so when I say you can't even be around, quit copying me. When I say you can't even be around Jubilex, I mean like even the water around a mile around its lair can corrode your armor. So if it's something that's like okay, we're gonna take a long rest before we fight this guy.
Let me drink some water.
Here. Yeah, we're gonna drink some water, and it burns going down. You're like, oh, and you notice that like the skin inside your mouth is like a shade brighter than it should be, or something like that, and like you have like that sandpaper feeling on your tongue.
Gross. Oh my god, we're getting more viewers.
Oh no.
You gotta entertain.
Yeah. But let's see. Oh my god! One of the madnesses is I must possess as many material goods as I can. So just like imagine like a guy with like a whole bunch of shit on his back.
So every adventure ever.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like, oh, nothing changed. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah. What do you mean I can't haul out these 50,000 copper pieces? And it's like when I tried to break that down, I'm like, guys, 50,000 copper pieces is not that many. It's like 50 gold. You're like, no, we need it.
By the way, Nick says, sober up, more viewers. Like, oh shit. Drinking coffee.
But the anxiety makes me want to drink more.
I can't deal with this type of pressure.
I just spilled it on myself like a moron.
Andrew, compose yourself, man. We're live.
I know, I'm sorry.
Oh man. Is there any other oozes that we haven't talked about? I mean, we haven't gone into specifics. Is there any other feature of the oozes that we haven't talked about?
We haven't really gone into specific, and this is honestly because like some monsters we can kind of get into specifics, like you know, like the orc does this and blah blah blah. But a lot of the ooze is based on surprise,
right?
And like, and it's kind of a tricky subject when you're talking about oozes because as someone that's in the know, like you don't want to lift the curtain on that because like you don't want to feed your players the information that you're going to be using against them.
Yeah, no, it's tricky. I know what you're trying to say because with dragons, most people know when you like talk about like the big and more common monsters like werewolves, dragons, everything, zombies, ghouls. You kind of know the most basic stuff, and so people take that into the game, right? However, with oozes, even in the setting of the game, not a lot of people know about oozes, right? Mm-hmm. And even if like let's say the wizard says like, "Hey, can I roll to see what I know about this creature?" Oh, holy shit! Joshua Ebanks, remember Josh from the barn?
Yeah.
Hi, Josh. I haven't seen you in a long time. I know you have a kid now. Holy crap! Welcome to our Talking Opportunity. We're talking about Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, he has a kid. Yeah,
sorry.
We haven't grown up. Anyways.
No. Nothing's changed on this side of the planet.
Yeah. So anyways, most people know the basics about monsters, but oozes is so satisfying to see the look of surprises of like, oh shit, I have a -1 to my armor now. Oh shit, it just split. Oh shit, I can't remember certain spells anymore because they're out of my brain.
Or it's like, why am I taking acid damage? There's nobody in this room. Wait, what did I just step in?
Right. Like, so it's hard. The point is that oozes are very fun to bring into a game, specifically when it's out of nowhere.
And it's like, okay, so it's like what you said about monsters that everybody knows. The litmus test for this is talk to someone that hasn't played D&D.
Yeah.
And if you say the name of a monster and they're like, oh, okay, I know what that is, then it's pretty common knowledge that the common person in a D&D setting would know, like a troll. Like everyone would know what a troll is. Everyone would know what it. But yeah, exactly. And because of the fact that nobody really has pinned down where oozes are coming from, like I say that like as if there's a pandemic, but maybe there can be. I don't know. Just, the ooze is loose.
The name of the ooze pandemic is COVID-20. Oozevit. Man, I'm so creative.
Oozevit.
Anyways, but yeah, like it's always hard to talk about like the specifics of. Just know that like for DMs, and we just play with a bunch of oozes in my other games, so I appreciate Robert for like that was kind of like what brought this episode up because everybody's like, oh, you know, gotta make an episode about oozes now. But like oozes are great to bring into a game because it's always an element of surprise. It's very hard to fight them correctly if you don't know anything about oozes.
It needs to be 100% a guessing game.
Yeah. So
unless they roll really well on like an intelligence roll or something.
Right. But like, and by really well, we don't mean like, oh, natural 20, now you know everything. We mean like your natural 20 plus what you have gives you a 29. Then you kind of like figure this out. But like, it's not even that. It's like you also. I wouldn't recommend bringing them into oozes into like a high level game, like 10 plus or anything like that. Because by that time, most people have like magical armor, magical weapons. So the challenge is kind of gone there anyways. Dude, the best is like low level, like 6, 5, around that area. where like they
I would
just
actually.
maybe like one member of the party has a magical weapon, but everybody else doesn't. Type situation, but they don't know that magical weapons don't get affected.
I would go even lower than that. I would be like around like 3 or 4, just to really. And it doesn't have to be like a party of oozes, but just like a gelatinous cube,
Right.
against a group of level 3 adventurers. Like, it's really gonna. It's a mixture of a puzzle and combat in the same setting, and like you hope to God you have a wizard, because that's going to be the only sort of magical damage you might be doing, unless you have like, I don't know, like an arcane archer or some crap.
Right, you can be clever and have like, I don't know, fire, type situation. But like, yeah, oozes are very fun. I think as a DM to bring into the table,
and it's definitely one of those monsters that, like, when you said we need to do an episode about oozes, I was totally on board for it. But then it's like, but there's really not a whole lot I can say, because it's a lot of it is in the surprise. And if you're gonna run an ooze that's hostile, because all the oozes we've encountered so far have been nice, and I think it's because they're like a cube of Jello is cute,
right? But I mean, but that's because I wasn't really part of the story. That was just me adding to the game.
But if you're playing a hostile ooze, like, I don't take this the wrong way, but be scummy about it. Be completely tricky about it. Like, like it needs to be a surprise.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
So yeah, you might piss off your players like I did. or you're in neck high water, something slams against your heel, and now you have -1 to your armor.
No,
I'm sorry, Alex.
Alex will never forgive you. He told me about that. But yeah, so oozes.
He was the only one that didn't piss me off in that campaign. Oh no, that's not true. Howard can't piss me off if he tried. He's too nice.
And me, right? I didn't piss you off.
I have not forgotten about you.
Anyway, what are you doing?
Everybody, you're going into the wilderness of Icewind Dale. I need you to roll me a DC 10 Constitution saving throw against cold. Except for Jose, it's a DC 25.
Nick says, "Drop from above, everyone loses an arm."
Yeah, exactly. And that's and honestly, almost all the oozes you can do that. It's just like, oh, there's something leaking from this roof. Oh, it's probably because we're near an underground lake. Nope.
It's an ooze.
Acid blanket.
Beautiful.
Surprise, motherfucker.
That's what the ooze says.
Yeah, well, I mean, the ooze would probably be like, but an ooze, that's what it said. Actually, because you were talking about like how like a lot of like there's not a lot of oozes potentially in like the Forgotten Realms. I'm actually surprised that 5e didn't include a rarity like gauge on their monsters, because some of the I don't think 3.5 did, but some of the previous editions actually had like a rarity on like how rare or uncommon this monster would be. So it'd be like you can kind of generate your own random encounter table by like, oh, this guy has a rarity of 1. It's like a goblin. Like you can kick over a stump and there's a massive goblins there. So, goblins aren't bugs. I don't know why I said that. but then it's like, oh, this is a ooze. It has a rarity of 8. So you're probably not going to find one unless you go deep into the heart of the Underdark or something like that.
I never even thought about like rarity on it. Like that's you're right. Because they mention it in the description, like, oh, a dragon, but like, yeah, you're right. There's not like a scale, like a set scale. I wonder if there you go, wizards. That's what you have to do, man. With that that dungeon master and monster manual update that you have to do.
I mean, I if we're talking about that, I would really like to spice up some monsters on the monster manual, and then include a rarity thing, because that would be really great.
Yeah, I agree.
For if you want to like throw something in there,
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. All right, so. Because we're already an hour in, believe it or not.
Yeah, I know.
We need to talk about the most important thing about this episode. Like, screw whatever the main plot is. I mean, the main subject of the episode is.
We already talked about our beer. We talking about second beer?
We talking about first beer, but how about second beer?
No. What about second beer? You've already had beer.
Session highlights, bro. Session highlights.
He doesn't know about second beer or 11s is or tea time.
Tea time with beard. You just drink regular beer, but in a tiny little cup.
It's a hibiscus beer. It counts.
It's technically a tea, right?
I mean,
no, it's kombucha, but with like a really high alcohol content.
Oh shit! If you think about it, because they're both brewed. Maybe it could be a yeasty tea. That's what I'm gonna be calling my beers from now on.
Yeasty tea.
Ugh. No, that sounds gross. I'm not drinking a tea that has yeast in it. Well, I kind of am. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, don't say it out loud though. Anyways, session highlights. Andrew, do you have any session highlights from your?
Man, that fucking hour and a half of us fighting Roll20 was a session highlight in itself. I mean, I really hate this. Okay, so I know we usually like denote session highlights to things that we enjoyed the most, but you also have to like the highlight could be whatever the most entertaining part of that session was, and it was hands down all of us freaking out over Roll20 and it was funny because everybody was in different stages of like denial and stuff, and like you could tell, you could pinpoint exactly at what part we were in Roll20 shenanigans based on my hair alone, because there were so many times I was running my hands through my hair and then it was like
hold on.
We were done.
So we have, for you guys that are watching right now, we have a live game going on right now of Descent into Avernus in on Twitch and Facebook. You can join us every Wednesday. We play almost every Wednesday. Oh, my camera. Usually it's fine. Roll20, sometimes it like does this thing. Andy, what are you doing? Stop, get away from me.
I want to see if it'll do the autofocus thing. Never mind.
It's last session or last Wednesday.
And everybody got there early. That's the thing.
Everybody got there early. Everything was ready to go. And Roll20, it's usually, so a normal Roll20 session for us is like, Howard gets in. He can't see anybody. I can see everybody. Andrew can see everybody. Heather can see Howard, right? These are the players. And then somebody refreshes and boom, it's all fixed, right? Within a couple of refreshes.
Mannequins. they're not real.
There are a couple of refreshes and it's good. Not this Wednesday. Holy shit. I kid you not, it was like what, like an hour and 15 minutes of just back and forth. Everybody just, I'm gonna reconnect. I'm gonna try a different browser. I'm gonna refresh the whole thing.
Yeah. We were actually looking up, okay, what's the best browser for Roll20?
So I don't know if like Andrew and I just have like an IP connection right now because we're always online or whatever. But like Andrew and I could see each other pretty much 90% of the time. And then I could see everybody else. But then
you heard the theory as to why we could see everybody.
Why?
And nobody else could, because we're pumping money.
Oh yeah.
It's a Roll20.
Let me get my tinfoil hat. Hold on.
Yeah, because me and Jose are the only ones with like a subscription to Roll20. So we're like, okay, we have a more secure server because we're giving them money. Where it's like, fuck these like other guys.
Yeah, fuck these peasants. So like,
yeah, these bums.
We spend, and at first it's just started like, okay, Howard can't see these people. Howard, you refresh.
And that's fine. For whatever reason, even though he's the IT guy, Howard's always the one with the problem.
Right. And like the thing is that at first it was like there was a formula to it. We're like, okay, so if he gets it, then click with them, and then eventually all of us will see each other. It'll be fine. Half an hour later, I'm just like, please, let me play.
It was really like a good experiment until like, okay, magical thinking, like maybe I'm the problem.
Right.
Maybe I'm the nexus of this like disconnection. So if I sacrifice myself by leaving the game and coming back, like, is that gonna solve everything? No. Okay. Back to the drawing board.
And I was like, okay, so maybe I shouldn't use the new version of the WebRTC codec that I have. Maybe I should use the old one. So I'm like, okay, guys, I'm gonna change it real quick. I change it. From my point of view, it kicks me out. It puts me back in, and I can't see anybody. All I see is people messaging through the text. Like, no,
it's worse.
Whatever you did, it's so much worse. Stop it.
Screaming into the void. And
so I switch it back, and I'm like, what happened, guys?
That's what the spell banishment was like for us. We're just, oh god. because it was, we couldn't see anybody, we couldn't hear or see anybody, and the camera was zoomed in like this far, so he could like see like my eyeball for whatever reason. It was like a trip, man.
Well, a mess. And then eventually the solution for us was somehow we got
to not use Roll20. That was the solution.
Well, at first it was like everybody could see each other, but we couldn't hear certain people, and we're like, okay. No, I'm sorry. I could see everybody, but then like there was like an issue with how.
And then you're all like, communicate through me. I will be your god. And we're like, no, Jose, you're not a cult leader. We can't do this. That's not how
I'm the important one here. I'm the dungeon master.
That would actually be really good though, where it'd be like, okay, Aura, we need that grease spell. Aura's gonna cast like chromatic orb. No, Aura, no.
But then. Anyways, at one point we give up, and I'm like, okay, I can see everybody, which is good for the stream because everybody can see people's reactions, right? And then like,
but our reactions were just like, I can't see anybody.
And then I'm like, okay, everybody, go, just mute yourself here and go to Discord. Heather didn't have Discord. She didn't even have an account for Discord.
Oh, that's right.
So everybody's on Discord. We can all hear each other. And then Heather's like, I can't hear anybody. This is so scary.
And you could just hear like the royalty free like elevator music as we're all like waiting.
Oh, by the way, Nick says Jose equal Jesus, right? Yes, I am Jesus.
No, we canceled Jose.
No, why do you cancel? What was that about, anyways? All of a sudden, I start seeing messages like hashtag cancel Jose. I'm like, what's happening? I'm trying to fix it.
I just jumped on the bandwagon. And we were all like in a fever pitch. I was like, okay, Jose must have did something.
If you want to like see 5 people struggle with technology for a good 45 to an hour, go to our latest stream on Twitch, or Facebook probably has it too, and just watch the episode 18, I think it was.
I mean, it's just, man, if you want to see a rapid decline of mental health all around.
At first, everybody had a game plan. Everybody thought that they knew how to fix it. Towards the end, we were about to rip our hair off.
Man, it was like we were like it got to the point where we're like, okay, maybe if I like circle my house 3 times and say boom shakalaka or something like that, maybe it'll work.
It might fix it.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, and it honestly became like what's it like the like what baseball players believe, like it became like superstition.
Yeah. Like have like
we're like,
I never watched.
So he's the problem. Okay, so he needs to reconnect, and then we all reconnect at the same time. And no. Did you reconnect or did you hard reconnect?
Right.
I need you to exit the browser, come back, clear your cookies, and then come back in because you're hogging all the bandwidth.
I'm a point where we're just accusing each other. Like, Alex, stop it.
No, Alex, don't reconnect.
At one point, we almost had it. We almost had everybody connected. And then for some reason, the problem was Howard and Heather. And for some reason, Alex reconnects. And I'm like, oh, damn it. And then I couldn't see him for the longest time.
Yeah, it was like, what? And it's like, and I'm like, and it's funny because when you reconnect, like, there's no audio for a little bit. It's like, It's like a weird, like, a couple seconds of no audio. So you reconnected, and then you came back. I'm like, okay, Jose, I see you. Don't reconnect. You just reconnect. I was like, motherfucker. And like, I threw my like headphones and stuff like that.
Because I didn't hear it.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyways,
we're not even gonna get into the rest of the session.
Wait, that was the bad highlight. Okay, it was entertaining for a little bit. In hindsight,
it was entertaining for some. The people
at one point, we had 17 viewers at that point,
and they ate it up. I
was like, "Why are you guys watching us right now? We're just fighting with Roll20
because it's 5 jackasses trying to figure out why Roll20's not working."
Dude, I gotta edit out just that bit and just send it to Roll20. It's like Roll20.
Oh God, no!
What? Why? This is not the first time that this happens. This has been one of the worst ones, but it's not. I don't think it has even been the worst one.
Oh no! You need to mash up last session And I know there was a session in Curses Tribe where I'm like, motherfucker, come on, goddamn.
Yeah, but we also spent like a good hour trying to oh my god.
That was actually the one where we're just like, okay, I'm gonna have to end the campaign for here tonight, guys, because it's like Roll20 is crap in the bed. I am sorry. I know it's like 8 o'clock. So
we look forward to D&D and you fucking cancel it. I will never forgive you. Anyways.
Wait, what? What? Oh, it's my fault that Roll20 crapped out. It really became a Lord of the Flies situation. Like we need to throw someone into a volcano so we could get the bandwidth.
If all of us end up in a deserted island at one point, we know exactly how it's gonna be. Nick says, "Yes, Andrew. Pain equals viewers." That's what we gotta do. Apparently,
I mean, you're not wrong. And that's I said the reason why we got so many viewers because it was relatable. Like everybody has dealt with shitty like audio video problems with the internet, and so just like a bunch of guys like wait, hold on, no, don't reconnect, motherfucker. I had him, and he slipped through my fingers.
He was right there.
And then it was funny because like one time I reconnected and I only had Heather, and then I reconnected after that and Heather was the only one I didn't have, and I'm like, okay, so one of us exists in like a mirror dimension.
Oh, what a freaking mess.
I am your warlock patron now. Speak through me.
And then, anyways, so that was the mess of the beginning. Legit an hour and like 15 minutes just trying to figure that out.
So we all got in like around like 7. I think it was like a little bit before 7. We didn't start playing until 8.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah,
it was.
Really that was
bad.
late. That was really late for us.
we're all 9 to 5 people here. Okay.
I definitely am. Actually, I'm 7 to 4, but there's a difference. I have to wake up at like 5 in the morning.
Sounds like a you problem.
It is. I hate my job.
Your boss is watching right now. Oh, really?
Why? Why is he watching? The one time he pays attention. I sent you how many emails to fix these problems?
Anyways,
if my boss is actually watching, I would have immense respect for him. It's like, hey, D&D, all right. Andrew, one of the old ones. Anyways,
is there an actual highlight from the bastard sessions?
No, I tell you, that was the highlight. I would probably end game. But because like the thing is that like the Roll20 thing, it held up so much that you were like, okay, you guys got the time blood. Okay, all right, let's go to this. Okay, now we gotta
fuck the travel. You're there now.
Yeah, random cap. No, fuck that. We ain't got time for that crap.
It was essentially an episode of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, I mean, it was like the world's longest fetch. It was. The fetch quest was so bad. I was like, wait, what are we? I forgot what we're actually here for. And it got to the point that we had to trade in this item. We had to do a favor for somebody to trade in an item, to trade in another item, to get another item just for information.
Bro.
That information could be bad because the person we're getting it from has like amnesia. So
it is. That chunk of Avernus is probably the weakest part of Avernus.
There's always that bit of a slump part.
I read the first time I read it through, I'm like, why? I don't know why, but in my brain, I thought that all of this was going to happen in one session. It was going to be like an 80s, like, montage of like, oh, you do this for me and do this for you. You do this for me. And then like, once you get to the end, it like rewinds all the way back and everybody gets their favor. But no, it ended up being like 3 sessions.
Yeah. And
I regretted it because in all that, there was also a lot of traveling in between, and I didn't want to travel in between because I knew that all of this, it wasn't empty, but like a good chunk of it could have just been like lifted out of the book and just like,
Well, it's a real indicator of 5e's biggest weakness, which is traveling is boring.
Yeah.
Traveling is really boring in 5e. Yeah. And it's like, the fact that we say that, but we don't have a real solid answer why is like it's weird. It just
Yeah.
means that we haven't nailed it.
And
And
the thing is
it's
that
like why
no, go ahead.
well, it's like the question is why is travel boring? And the answer is because it is. And it's like, no, that's not
Right, right.
you know.
And the thing is that Some of Annihilation had uh, a travel pattern. Like you choose, you roll for the weather, you roll for encounters depending on which part of a Schultz you were in, and all that kind of like lend itself to like, okay, this is kind of neat, right? Like after so many times this happens, it becomes kind of boring at the end. But for the most part, it had like a bare bones bit in there that you can use. Waterdeep sort of had one. I had to like find an extra like random encounters table out there to kind of like work it in there. It kind of worked. I mean, it led to like a pretty epic fucking triple explosion with like cultists or whatever in the house.
Yeah, that's the closest thing we got to a wipe. But we're like, the only time we actually like realized this isn't our fight, guys. Yeah. We don't have to be here. We're like, why did we even go the extra mile for this?
But even then, it had like, when you players travel from here to here, they see this part of the city is this part of the city is that, blah blah blah. Like it had a lot of like things that me as a lazy DM didn't take full advantage of it, but like it was there, right? And then Barovia same. I'm pretty sure they had like a bunch of stuff for the traveling bits, like roll for this. What could happen? We encounter werewolves, and we encounter the ones I can remember right now. The werewolves, the revenant. It was interesting. It gave us like
you guys encountered some werewolves, a revenant, and for some reason a shit ton of like trinkets. I always landed on trinkets. You're like, oh god,
yeah, but, more trinkets.
But
what does this mean? I don't know.
But I don't know. Fuck I know. But I mean, even then, the random encounter table in Barovia was like okay. Like I felt like it really could have been spruced up. Like it didn't like there was really nothing that like I saw that like made me feel like okay, this is gonna like really shake up the players or something like that,
And I think the best random encounter tables I've seen are the ones from Tomb of Annihilation, because they were divided by which part of the map, and the maps were layered. So like the more into the Schultz you got into, the more dangerous the encounters were. And it was like a full like triple layer table. It was pretty interesting. Very cool stuff. But after you do it 15 times, you have to do it every day. And if you're going 15 hexes down the path, it's like 3 sessions of just random encounters, right? Like if you roll for like the ones that require a lot of things to happen. Either way, Avernus. I mean, hold on. Avernus just decided to. Nick says, "I applaud you, fuckers. I've pissed 3 times within the hour, and y'all haven't gone yet." We've only had 1 beer, so it's good.
No, as have I. Don't worry about it.
This can is not empty.
Yeah.
No. Anyways,
you clearly didn't take the dumb and dumber technique.
Avernus, for some reason, decided to be all like random encounter table for the Wasteland. Nope, sorry, there's no random encounter tables in the book.
And when you said that, that blew my fucking mind, because I'm like, you mean to tell me that hell, the hell of Forgotten Realms, does not have a random encounter table? It's like this would be the place to have something just like sneak up and like.
The only thing that it has is 5 things really, but you guys already killed one. The warlords, the ones that have like the war machines.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, it's 4 of the same encounters, really.
Okay.
You took down
I'm actually okay with that, because that was exciting. So
right, but you took down 1 of them, right? So now there's 3 left, and the other technically random encounter is the Wandering Emporium.
Yeah.
But there's no table. There's no like roll this, see what happens. So what am I? Okay, again, I'm being lazy. I'm a lazy DM. I work all day. I just want to open the book and do what the book tells me.
Right.
There's no like roll this. If it rolls whatever, you see a skeleton dancing in the middle of the desert and it's a mirage. None of that bullshit. There's no like flavor. There's no, and it's fine. And that's why it's not fine, because their whole thing with that is that the map of Avernus is unreliable. And in fact, things that look like they're very far away, warped, and are all of a sudden very close. Like it's essentially they're doing a MacGuffin for DMs to just like, oh, you're here from the southeast corner to the northwest corner. Oh, look at that. Turns out that the northwest corner was like right there the whole time.
Yeah,
that's what they're looking. That's how they're pushing DMs to do. which is fine, except that the middle of the fucking adventure is go for point A, B, C, D, E, and then back. You know, E, D, blah, blah, down to A. And it's like, okay. And you told me, you're like, okay, you know, like, it's fine, but I kind of want some in between stuff. And then for some reason, I don't know, my brain was just not working or something. But I'm like, I didn't Google it. And then when I Googled it, turns out that everybody's bitching about that. And I found a supplement with random encounters for the wasteland. That it's not just the warlords.
Dancing skeleton off in the distance. Like...
but like it's not just like the warlords and the what's it called?
Traveling caravan.
The traveling caravan. Like, it's not just that, you know, like it's like other things. Which I get it that it's a desert, but like you'll think that some Avernus stuff will be, and also Avernus has some flavor in it that there is no a single point in the adventure that the players will actually come across that unless the DM puts it in there. And a lot of the flavor could have been really cool random encounters that don't require don't require battles or anything. It could just be like, oh, you see this, and oh, it gives you a glimpse into what Avernus used to be type situation.
I mean,
that's my grief with Avernus right now, and we're almost done with this middle bit that is very. I always struggle with the middle part of the adventure. The whole like, you gotta find a MacGuffin, and to do that, you have to do this and do this favor and do this other favor, and then come back, and then it loops around and blah blah blah, all that stuff. Right. So, I know you've been feeling like it's like you haven't been having fun when it comes to that kind of stuff, but like I'm telling you, this middle stuff, I should have taken it out and just been like, oh fuck this, and I'm just kind of too late for that. It had a little bit of like interesting bits in it, but I knew that my biggest fear was that. My biggest fear was that it was just gonna be go here, do this, talk to this, and do that, and then do this, and then do that, and then go back and forth over and over again. And then I didn't want to do traveling in between because it was gonna take even longer than what I wanted it to take. I just want to get to like the fucking juice of the adventure, which hopefully is what should happen in the next session or two.
Right.
So, anyway.
But it's just like it. Like the weird thing was that it got to the point where it's like traveling took up. So I mean, even if we didn't have that Roll20 thing, the traveling took up so much time that like the parts where we encountered people, it felt really like, okay, we gotta get the thing and we gotta get out, you know, because we're gonna have to now we gotta haul ass across the desert and stuff like that, and it's just.
But in your mind, like in your mind, because like truthfully, it was just me being like, oh, okay, so you guys did this, and I waved it into you guys are back to point C or whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I you know, I guess in not rating type stuff, like it did feel longer because the distance still there. It's a desert, you know what I mean?
Right. But and it's just like, you know, and the thing is that I know Wizards is like they'll have adventures where they put an emphasis on a certain pillar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, like Tomb of Annihilation obviously had an emphasis on travel. Rime of the Frost Maiden has an emphasis on travel, which I will say in session 0, like traveling is a big thing. So like there are going to be sessions where you're just traveling, and I will be kind of granular about it because I want to give it due diligence, and I want to make traveling interesting.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see that, like a new take on traveling, because so far traveling has just been lacking.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, it's okay, and we hand wave,
right?
You know, and it's like, why can't we have an adventure where all aspects of D&D are at like 10? Like, why does it have to be, oh, this is a really combat heavy, or this is a real role play heavy? Like, why can't we just have like why is it that like in order for us to have everything, it has to be like kind of
right?
Like, why, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. It always has, and I notice this with a lot of the adventures that I've run. It always has a very strong beginning, a very strong end, but then the in between bit is just kind of like, and you guys are down here in the lacking of the middle. Like you're I don't want you to get discouraged because you're about to like shoot up again, you know.
But it's like why is there even a slump in the material?
It's because like it's because what WebDM said about the rulings in the current 5e is
Yeah, they're rulings, not rules.
right, exactly. And it's like it's one of those things that like if I was an experienced DM, like somebody who's been doing this for a very long time and just knows very creative and knows how to come with this stuff on the spot or have the time to like build all these things, probably could make it more interesting. And I wish I would put more effort into it. But like truthfully, we all have full-time jobs. I love
Yeah.
having the freaking book, opening the book, reading it, okay, I'm just gonna run this and just have a good time like that. You know? I don't want to be spending 4 hours a week building this one encounter for this one travel bit. When I know that the book has like amazing stuff at a certain point, it's just
yeah.
I just need that.
And I know like I'm all gung ho for like home brewing, but like the fact of the matter is, yeah, I also have a full-time job. And when I get home, like sometimes I don't even want to fucking think of anything.
Right.
So, you know, and I just like veg out on the couch. So yeah, sometimes I just don't have the energy for it. And it's just like, dude, you're not going to overwhelm people by introducing more rules like that. And it's like, okay, here's what I've been thinking about travel. It's like have a layered random encounter table. Like have it be like, oh, this is 1 through 20, roll this. Okay, if you roll this, then roll. It might be like roll on this table kind of a thing.
Right.
So that way it's like there's more variety because I can't tell you how many times like I looked at the random encounter table and I was just like, nah. You know, at certain things, it's like I don't want to do this, or something like that, you know. And it's like no, we like spruce it up, and then just put the caveat like, hey, these are optional, you don't have to do it. So that way, like little baby DMs won't be like, oh no, scary rules. So, like, you know, because I think the problem with it is that now it's more plain than ever that Wizards of the Coast put far too much emphasis in getting new people into D&D. And it's to the point that like the rules feel kind of bland.
Yeah.
You know, like outside of combat, like
it's also a lot of the what's it called? As a creative, right? Myself, when a client tells me, "Oh, just do whatever you want," that freezes me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, but what do you want? You're the client. You're the one who's paying for this, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel with D&D sometimes. It's like, oh, just do what you want. I'm like, but I'm new to this. Like, tell me what to do. Like, okay.
You guys are the writers.
Right. And hey. Okay.
No.
I know we're bitching and like, the adventures are great. We had blasts with them. It's just there's like the in between the cartilages that's holding everything together needs to be more robust.
Yeah, I mean, what I am personally not afraid to have more rules.
Me neither.
I'm not afraid to have more structure.
Yeah,
you know.
And we talked about this. We talked about how like great you have millions of people now into D&D 5e. Excellent. Now introduce 5e Advance.
Yeah, like lock them in. Get that 5.5 in there.
Yeah.
You know, like get like start to introduce, because it's like the one thing, okay, so like the biggest like wake up call for me was like I was reading 5e and I was like, oh man, wow, this is really cool. Like, you know, I was reading like the Dungeons Master Guide and like stuff like that. And then once I got like comfortable with it and played, you know, a couple of adventures and, you know, really got my feet wet, then I got the Starfinder core rule book. And I was like, holy crap. They introduced rules for like radiation sickness and stuff like that. Like stuff like I never even thought of. But like, yeah, of course, because it takes place in space. And yeah, a solar flare would give you radiation sickness because it's radiation. It's like, and it's like this weird thing, like the rules don't restrict us on what we can do. It shows us what we can do.
Exactly.
You know,
because not all of us are Matt Mercers and Chris Perkins.
Yeah. And I get it. Home brewing rules is one thing, but not all of us are like actual game masters. Like not all of us know what perfect balance is. And if you make a rule on the fly, it could have disastrous consequences.
Yes,
you know.
Yes,
especially if you have that one player it's like, but that's not in the book.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Thankfully we haven't encountered that yet.
No,
but,
we haven't. We're lucky when it comes to that.
There's always that risk.
Nick says that he's a newbie DM and he's getting his family into it. He says that it's necessary to have detailed oriented. Yes, it is necessary. And he says depending on how they feel that week, it may be more quick or detailed.
I would say if you're introducing new people and you really want to like get them in, like make it like don't be like super
Oh,
duper
it says
detailed.
it is not necessary to have to be detail oriented. Right.
No, it's not necessary, but it really helps. And
Yeah.
it's like, and you can slowly feed these things in.
Right.
Like you
Right.
don't
Right.
have to be like, oh, you slept out in the woods and the humidity was like over 40 degrees. Well, your belt buckle's rusted up or some crap like
Roll to
that,
see if you're sweaty. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, but you can like slowly like, okay, now there are survival rules. Like,
Right. Right. Right.
how much food do you have? Oh, wait, we're supposed to be keeping track of that. You are always supposed to be keeping track
Right.
of that, like kind of a thing. So
I
yeah,
wish I wish there needs to be a tool also for DMs to keep track of the whole party's inventory.
oh, that would be so nice. That's gonna really come in handy if
You
something like
know,
that exists for Rhyme of the Frost Maiden.
like a universal that everybody can see, right?
Mhm.
That everybody's and not necessarily just everything they hold, but like rations, ammunition, all this kind of stuff. And then like the DM can see them subtracting it. Or the DM himself can be like, oh, a day passed, so everybody gets -1 ration.
You know what? There's a feature in Roll20 where you can make a character sheet. I bet you could probably do that. Where you can probably like make something like that. I'm gonna look into it because having like a communal like oh haha hooray for the day, like no you didn't fucker because you had 4 rations
Right.
before.
Because hey, it's not that I don't trust my players, but we all forget.
Yeah, and there are some rules like sometimes you want that gravity like you and that's not and that's like look your character starving or something is not losing,
Right,
that's
right.
part of
It's
the
a
story,
it's
that's
a
part.
challenge. It develops.
Yeah, and that's part of the experience. Like they wrote this with you in mind, being desperate for food. So now you're like hunting for whatever you can, kind of a thing. And it's like, and I don't know. It's just I don't
People,
know.
people are
we got
people
we
people
got a
are
little off the rails.
yeah,
There.
we did. People are talking about the global inventory tracker, but it's mainly just fillable PDFs. I want like a legit like here's an app, everybody can see it, look kind of like Sirenscape, right? And then
Right.
DM has like global control over it. Um, maybe I should get my app developer friends to work into this. Yeah. Yes, inventory says Nick, and then Nick also says, "Oh, you're drinking while you're you're trying to DM. You forget shit." Yeah, that's true. That's why I when we used to do like tabletop like in person, I used to have a beer, and I learned real quick that like
Yep.
big mistake.
Yep.
Big,
I always
especially when
I
you
always
especially when you're trying to keep track of like a whole freaking book.
I always DM sober. I
Yeah.
mean, I might when I'm playing, I might have like a beer, but I always DM sober because like you need every fucking brain cell, man.
Yeah. And then you're getting that freaking headache. Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. Anyways, so that was session highlights / ramble
/ why won't they fix this thing that we fully enjoy?
/ old man screams at cloud.
Yeah.
Do you have any news? Anything? I haven't been keeping up with things, man. I've
There
been
really
so busy.
as far as I know, there hasn't been anything happening.
Only Candle Keep Mysteries, right? That's like the only thing, which we're very excited about. I can't wait for them to start like revealing things about that.
I kind of feel like there's gonna be another big book on the way because they always introduce like, oh, here's like here's some rules, here's a small collection of adventures, and then wham, like here's like Return of Vecna.
That's what I'm waiting for, and I call dibs on that. But no. Like but I'm waiting, and those usually happen around the holidays, like at the end of summer. That's when they announce it, and then it's usually for the holidays. So I can't wait for that. You already have Frost Maiden, so don't be bitching. You know the next adventure after that is mine.
That's only because you called dibs on Avernus before I could. Like, motherfucker.
Bro, as soon as I was announced, I was like, dibs.
Yeah, you saw that. Yeah, and I
was driving to Miami.
I was like, shit.
I was driving to Miami, but like, Kristen, text Andrew right now that I called dibs on Avernus.
and I was actually texting like, oh well, I want to run it, and then she's like, Jose says dibs. I'm like, God, rule of dibs.
It's a tradition, man. You can't break
I'm
it.
honor bound to let him run this adventure.
Well,
I'm gonna complain the whole
time. But hey, to be fair, you at that time you were really trying to run Curse of Stride. So.
Oh man, dude, that post campaign, like, like deflation is real.
Yeah.
where it's like I don't even want to look at a damn screen right now.
Jesus. Well, so we don't have any news. We went over oozes. Oozes are great. Keep the mystery happening.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about how bad of a DM Jose is and the ugly middle parts of all Wizards of the Coast adventures and how how much work they need.
I mean, like, I appreciate it. You want us to work for the campaign, but I also have to work to play this campaign. So
wait, what?
I said, it's like I get it. You want us to work for this campaign, but I also have to work and then play this campaign.
What do you mean work for the campaign?
Like I have to go to work and then afterwards I'll like come home and then play the campaign.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
You know.
But you hate me. I get it. It's fine. Whatever.
I mean, just be a better DM. Why can't you just do better voices?
I tried. Not really.
Well, try harder.
Well, anyways, with that, that's all the time we have for you today. An hour and 34 minutes. That's not that bad for this for our usual ramble. Thank you so much for joining us one more time at a Talk Opportunity. The edited and recorded episode will be live this upcoming Wednesday. Also, this upcoming Wednesday, we're gonna have a live game of Avernus. Every Wednesday we have one. Make sure to follow us on Spotify, Apple iTunes, Amazon, Google, whatever you listen to your podcast. Leave us a star rating, leave us a review. Please tell us that we're doing good or that we're doing bad. We don't care. Usually we read them, we get hurt and cry a little bit, but we just need them reviews, okay?
Give me some tips for how to record. I need them. God.
We've been asking for the past 35 episodes.
I don't want to do this.
Why is nobody telling us? Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Happy Valentine's. Happy Year of the Ox. And keep on gaming. Stay safe out there. You'll have a wonderful night and rest of your weekend.
Wash your hands. Wash your fucking hands.
And use a mask. For God's sake, use a mask.
You might have to use 2 masks now, but still.
All right, you guys.
You know it's real, right?
Have a wonderful night. Shut the fuck up. Okay. I'm trying to end the episode.
Okay.
Bye. Say bye, Andrew.
No.
Bye.
That's how we're ending the episode.